This time of year, we bring the garden indoors with our Christmas trees. I'm at the Double T Tree Farm outside of Glencoe with owner Chuck Tower. Chuck, thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome.
Well, you are a forester by trade, is that right?
By profession.
By profession. And you started growing Christmas trees?
Well, actually, it's my wife's fault. I met her and married her, and she's a forester, and we both decided we wanted to do something in forestry outside of working at the university, and this is sort of what we settled on. Okay. And so we bought this place in 1999 and planted our first trees in 2000, and this is what we have now.
And how long did it take you to get your first sellable tree?
Well, it was a learning process. All the growers told me, they said 4 or 5 years and you can sell your first trees. You should start shearing at age 3 maybe. Okay. Well, by age 3, I had trees that were like, and they should have been sheared the year before. So we sheared them, started shearing, and we were actually selling trees after 3 years here.
Excellent. And what types of trees do you grow?
Well, we'd like to grow all kinds of things, but Oklahoma climate limits you to what you can grow. What you see here is everything we see right here is Virginia pine. Okay. Which is a species native to the southeastern U.S. It's not native to Oklahoma, but it grows pretty well in this climate, and so we can make a Christmas tree out of it.
Tolerates the heat a little bit
It takes the heat and the dry, yes, very well. Okay. You can grow, if you're willing to irrigate, you can grow some other species, but probably the biggest limitation is most of what you can grow is pine. You can grow Virginia pine, you can grow Scotch pine, you can grow Austrian pine, you can grow eastern white pine. Mm-hmm. The reason most of us grow Virginia pine is it grows twice as fast as those other species, although they will grow also, and eventually they make a very pretty Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. But it takes twice as long, and you know, most people are not that patient. So I'm going to try Scotch pine starting this year. I haven't tried it yet, but so far it's mostly Virginia pine. There are a few Leyland Cypress over there, and I've tried some other things, and we won't look at those because they're dead.
Now, how do you go about the process?
It's Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Division of Forestry. They sell 1-year-old seedlings for Christmas trees and also for windbreak shelter belt planting, things like that. So we get our trees from there and bring them here and plant them in the wintertime, usually in February. If you've got the right soil moisture, February is a good time to plant. And then the work begins. The planting, of course, is not much fun, but it's not too bad. I mean, I'm a forester, I like trees, so growing trees is a good thing. So you plant them, and then the second year, well, as soon as you plant them, you've got to start spraying for insects. There's a critter called pine tip moth, which will bore into the tips of all the growing tips of the tree and kill them back. So if you don't spray for these, you end up with a big ugly little bush. And so in there they have 4 generations a year, so you have to spray them all summer long. So you spray for tip moth. Some growers use pheromone traps so that you know exactly when the population peaks, and then you spray like 10 days after that. Some of us just, well, by the second and third population of the tip moth, they're everywhere. So we just spray every 3 weeks. So you spray basically for tip moth every 3 weeks all summer long. You got to do weed control and mowing all summer long. And I'm sure I'm forgetting other things you have to do. And then at about age 2, between age 2 and 3, you start shaping and shearing them, and you have to shear them twice a year.
I noticed that you have your trees staked. Can you tell me what that's for?
That's to correct for the Oklahoma wind. If you don't correct for the Oklahoma wind, they all sort of, you know, the winds in the spring are out of the south, they all sort of point to the north. Actually, the first couple of years I did this, I didn't stake everything. And I still have some old trees over there that nobody wants to buy because
they're angled.
They're angled.
And
so
when do you stake them?
Well, we plant them year 1, and then I come back when I plant the next year. I stake the ones from the previous year because the first year they're pretty small, and even if they get a little bent into the wind, you can correct that. Okay. But once they get this size, if you don't have them nice and straight, it's too late to make them straight. Okay. And it's important to get them straight because a lot of the tree stands don't handle crooked trees very well.
That's true. Now you are a cut your own operation.
Yeah, we call it choose and cut.
Okay.
Christmas tree farm.
And how do you go about selecting a good tree?
Well, I
any
don't
pointers?
select them. No, I don't make. In fact, I stay out of it. I stay back at the office, so to speak, and let the people come out here and pick out their own tree. But everybody has a different view of what's a good Christmas tree, so we just let them come out here and choose what they want.
Well, customers cut the trees the old-fashioned way with a handsaw.
Or if they don't want to, I cut it for them.
You cut them too. And then once they're cut, what do you do with the trees?
Well, somehow we get it on a vehicle for them to take it home. You know, the process is, it depends on what they want. One of the alternatives is to drill it. You drill a hole in the base of the tree, and then you put it in a stand that's designed for that. So you set the base of the tree right over the hole, and the tree stands up nice and straight. That's all you have to do is stand it up, as opposed to these old-fashioned where you stand it in there and you turn the cranks on all four sides until you get it sort of straight up and down. This works really well. It doesn't look like it would, but it really performs well. So if they have that kind of a stand, or if they want to do it this way, we'll drill it for them, and that's the only thing they pay for is the tree. Everything else we do for them is, I guess, free, we can say, or part of the deal.
I noticed you have another piece of equipment over here.
Yeah, all of the trees, people don't think about this, but pine trees lose their needles just like all other trees do. They just wait another year and do it, but all of the Virginia pine out here have lost last year's needles over the last month or so, and they're all still in there. And so we use this to shake as many of those out as we can, as opposed to leaving them in some lady's carpet, which isn't very fun because they don't vacuum very well. So we shake every tree we have. And then depending on what they're driving, I love pickup trucks in this business, because if they have a pickup truck, you just take the tree and you throw it on the pickup truck and you're done. But if not, we have a netting system where we net the tree, tie the branches up nice and snug, put it on top of the car, and then tie it up there for them. So,
once you get the tree home, what can you do to make it last long? How long will it last?
Well, if it's taken care of properly, it'll last for 3 to 4 to 5 weeks.
Okay.
But proper care simply means you get it in the stand right away, and you get water on it, and you never let it dry out.
Okay.
The first couple of days it's probably going to suck up a lot of water, so you got to watch it. You got to be sure you keep water in there. If you dry it out just once, that might be the end of it, and then it's going to, the needles will turn dry and brittle, and it'll start to look bad. So the key is to keep it watered. There are all kinds of supplements. People will sell you, add this to the water and your tree will last forever, and actually water is the most important thing.
Okay.
That's my view anyway.
Excellent, thanks.
But another thing they might do when they get home, you handle the tree and you get the base of the tree, or the butt where you cut it off full of dirt and stuff, is to fresh cut that. Just cut a 1/4 inch back off, so you get a fresh cut. All the veins and all the vessels are open, and they can suck the water up, because it doesn't take long for them to close either. So.
Okay. We were talking about some things you could do with the tree after Christmas. One thing you could do is stick it out into the garden. You have to bury it so that it'll stand. It won't grow anymore, but it provides a nice wildlife habitat. Some cities will
recycle.
So they mulch the tree.
They'll take them and chip them, and then they give the mulch away. But you can do that yourself if you just happen to have a chipper, but most people don't. A lot of growers will take the tree back and chip it and put it back out on the field, for mulch. And I would do that, but people don't usually come this far back with the tree. Also, I've heard you can throw them in the pond for fish habitat, if you have a pond. I don't know how many people in town have a pond, but I have one.
All right, well, thank you for your time today. I really
you're welcome.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming out.